What is going on, everybody? We got some big changes to the Unholy Death Knight coming in a new patch 9.2. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Convocation of the Dead Conduit. When a Festering Wound bursts, the cooldown of Apocalypse is reduced by 1 second. Festering Wound damage is increased by 15%. So essentially they're getting rid of the scaling for the cooldown reduction and just making it baseline of 1 second and adding a 15% base damage. This conduit will scale in damage. It starts baseline at 15 and will go all the way up to 36% at item level 278. The next conduit we're going to be talking about is the Embrace Death Conduit. Sudden Doom increases the damage of your next death coil by 40%. So it got a 5% buff. This conduit will also scale, baseline of 40% damage, all the way up to 96% damage at the item level of 278. The next conduit we're going to be talking about is the Eternal Hunger Conduit. It says Dark Transformation's duration is increased by 3 seconds, and your minion damage is increased by 6%. So it got a double damage buff. Baseline is 6% damage. It will increase to 14.4% damage at conduit level 278. The next conduit we're going to be talking about is Brutal Grasp. It says Abomination Limb deals 30% increased damage. It got a double damage buff starting at 30% damage all the way up to 72% damage at item level 278. Up next, the ability Abomination Limb from the Necrolords has been buffed. So when you sprout an additional limb, it deals 28.4% of attack power as shadow damage over 12 seconds to all nearby enemies. It deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. Every 1 second, enemy is pulled to your location. If they are further than 8 yards from you, the same enemy can only be pulled once every 4 seconds. So it got a slight buff, about 5%. If you run this with the Brutal Grasp Conduit, I think these will go hand in hand pretty well and do some serious damage. The Necrolord Covenant Legendary has also been buffed. Abomination's Frenzy. Abomination Limb's duration is increased by 4 seconds, and the frequency it grants is increased by 2 seconds. The first time an enemy is damaged by Abomination Limb, they take 20% increased damage from you for 12 seconds. So it's been increased double. It was 10%, now it's 20%. So the next thing that has been changed is something that everybody has been wanting, the tier sets. So the 2-piece tier set is about the same thing. So every 5 Clawing Shadows / Scourge Strikes cast Soul Reaper on your target and summons an army of the Dead Ghoul for 15 seconds. So the 4-piece is the big change. Your minions deal 5% increased damage baseline. When Soul Reaper's secondary effect triggers, this bonus is increased to 20% for 8 seconds. All in all, with all of these changes, I do believe the Unholy Death Knight is a lot better than what it was, and I do believe it's going to go into patch 9.2 as a pretty strong class. I hope you all enjoyed. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, everyone.